Okay, let's start it. You guys all got the link I sent it out by email. I just sent it. And by clicking it, you can get to the workshop 2 website. And from here, if you click before workshop 2, this is the page I sent it to you guys before. And for our presentation material, it's all on the presentation page. I also put another interesting tutorial that you would like to check out after today's workshop. Okay, so let's get started. You guys might already know my name is Holly. I'm one of the research assistant at TD Lab. Before we get into the detail about what we're going to learn today, let's open Unity Hub together. We can have a short introduction while we're waiting for the Unity project to be open. So this is Unity Hub. And as same as before, we clicked new project. And we are going to choose 3D URP, Universal Render Pipeline. And you can give it a name, whatever you want. I'm just gonna call it Unity Workshop 2. And you wanted to save it in a folder which have a lot of available space, because Unity project always taking up a lot of space. I'm just going to save it on my desktop. I already created a folder for it. So after you give it a name and after you selected a location for your project, you can click Create Project. So while we're waiting for the project to be created, we can have a brief that what will be learned today. First of all, I'm going to talk about how to adjust the lighting in Unity. I'm particularly going to introduce about how to adjust the artificial lighting during the night, because during the day, the lighting isn't gonna be a big problem because there's natural light coming into the building and everything is visible. But during the night, the artificial lighting, our adjustment became more and more important. So we are going to learn how to adjust that first. And then we will get into some basic knowledge about how to do animation. As long as you know the basic of animation, you can animate everything in Unity yourself. After we get the information about that, we can use the knowledge we just learned and try it on the car game object. And number 4, we are going to learn how to import different people from online free resources and how we can give them different kind of animation. For example, you want people to climbing on your climbing wall and you want people to jump on the ground. So that's all possible in Unity. And we are gonna learn it today. And the last thing we will learn is the wind animation. But sometimes if you want to make your scene more real, you would like to implement some environment effect for the object on our site. And today will be really simple, easy, and chill. There's not a lot of stuff you have to go over. As you can see, the format, the Unity package I have sent it out this time is a package you can import into your Unity project directly, and you can see the same thing I have seen on my computer. This Unity package is a great and lightweight to passing our project in between of your teammates or in between different computer. Have you guys all got your Unity open? Okay, good. For now, let's import our pre-made Unity package first by going to the top asset. Then we want to select import package, click custom package, then go find where you download the pre-made file. I downloaded at my desktop, so I'm going to click it and then click open. The section already open on your computer, you can see there's different folder I create before. You want to make sure you select all of them. By default, Unity will select all of them for you, but it's better if you click all again, just make sure that everything has been selected. After you click all, you want to click import. then Unity will set everything for us. So the only folder we are going to working on is the one you just import. It's called a workshop. You can see we have some pre-made material, some model I have imported from Rhino, which we already learned last time. And we have some prefabs I downloaded from Unity Asset Store, which I already downloaded for you guys, but you guys are also free to do it from Unity Asset Store. We can click the scenes folder. So this is the folder we can store different kind of scene. Scene is meaning like different kind of little word you create. For example, you can have a night view scene in the same site, and also you can have a daytime scene, or you can have another scene for another model. They can all be changed and saved in one Unity project. Okay, we are going to double click the scene called workshop 2, and then you will see the scene I have created before. And if you want to make it into a better view, I already set up a better view. So you can click the main camera, and then you want to select align view to select it on the bottom, and you will get a better view. And let's delete the tree folder and the people folder, and also delete the folder called cards, and also we delete props. So I'm going to teach you guys step by step for how to add those things on. So for control the overall lighting, the convenience way is to open up the lighting section. And by open the lighting section, we want to go to window, and we want to go to rendering. There's the select called lighting. There will be a new section automatically open up called lighting. And right there, if we clicked environment, you can see there's a lot of option. And the option that can help us increase the lightness of the whole scene is the intensity multiplier. We can scroll it up so the whole scene turns more bright. If we scroll it down, the whole scene will turns to darker. And another thing that can change the whole environment, super important thing, is the skybox. If you click it, you can see the skybox I'm using is in the assets. I'm creating that from Photoshop, and then I exported a 36-degree photo from Photoshop and then input it into Unity, and then it turns it into a skybox. If you also want to DIY your own skybox, you can go to the tutorial right here. It's really simple and easy, and I learned from there. It's super great. If you don't, you can always download some skybox online, but I highly recommend you guys create your own customically. You can try to turn off the fog, turn it on. This bottom allows you to add on some fogginess for your night view, and you can even change the color of the fog. You can make it light white, or you can make it a little bit darker based on what kind of feeling you want. I'm just gonna leave it in the blue, and you can change how much the frogginess you want, and you can even add on a texture for the frog and adjust the density, those sort of things. It's all under your control. That was it about how to control the overall mood. And there's another thing we can do for the lighting control, which is the tips I found is quite useful by adjusting the lighting material on our exterior facade. If you open up the Rhino Workshop 2 model, you can see there's the game object I create from Rhino called light materials. It's just, as you can see by clicking it, there's just some same boxes I have created from Rhino, which apply and attach on the exterior wall for surrounding building. The material I'm using, the material that can do emission by itself. By changing the lightness of the emission level for this material, I am able to control the whole brightness of the scene. So that's another way you can like control the certain area of your building. There's another way also, is a pretty typical way. If you collect lightings under our hierarchy, if you turn it off under inspector, if you uncheck the box, you can see how the building looks without artificial lighting inside. If you click it back, you can see the building interior lighting has increased a little bit. The way I add it on, if you expanded the layer, you can see I add on different point light. I just randomly throwing in different kind of light to light up my original building. And the way about how to use these lighting settings is just right click it. Lighting, you will see you have different kind of option for direct light, point light, spotlight, area light. It's exactly the same with Rhino and V-Ray or Enscape. I'm pretty sure you guys already know how to do that. It's just better if you can test it out yourself. There's the reflection prop. Yeah, we want to delete that. The last thing I want to teach you guys is how to add on the reflection on the glass wall. Because the important thing for night view, especially full of glass building, to reflect the surrounding buildings. Obviously, the default settings can't give us the feeling of that. But increase the reflection on the glass surface, we can right click, create an empty game object. We can name it props. This game object is nothing. We are just gonna use it as a parent layer to store all of our props. If we want to create props, we can right click the prop game object we just create. We just right click it. We go to render, we go to lighting. And there's the option called reflection prop. There's a reflection prop created under the prop parents layer. And we can go to the top view to see the prop we just created better. You can see the box, the default size is quite small. You can change the box size by changing the value under inspector. Maybe we want to try 100, 100, 100. Okay, it looks much better right now. Go back to the main camera by right click it, align view to select it. Yeah, back to the main camera view. And the reason why there's nothing changes because the type we are using is baked. We want to change it to real time. Whatever we change for our model, update it automatically with this prop. You can imagine this prop as the mirror material high reflection ball, but it's invisible. It's in the middle of your box to help you add on the reflection a little bit more. The reflection is getting stronger and stronger if you add on the intensity of it. You see, after we increase the intensity, the edge of the box become very awkward. At the same time, change the blend distance a little bit bigger to make the edges more soft. We can add couple of the props in our view to make the whole scene reflect it even more. That's another way to increase the whole feeling about our night view. Okay, next step is to learn how to do the basic animation for our object. For example, I'm going to use this Tokyo Circle game object as one of the example for us to learn how to do the animation in Unity. If you move the game object upside or down, I'm thinking to make an animation like that, which makes the Tokyo Circle floating in the sky. For me to able to animate the Tokyo sign like that, we can go to window and there's a button called animation. and we want to expand it and click animation. So then there will be a section open for you called animation. I usually like to drag it down to use it on the bottom. It's just easier to see. We clicked Tokyo Circle, and then there will be a create automatically shows up. And then we clicked create. It automatically gets us to the Unity project folder. Under a workshop, I want to create a new folder inside of Unity. I want to call it animation, which means I will store off my animation for different objects in this one folder. Sign animation. So I know that's the animation for Tokyo sign. After we click save, we are back to Unity project. Don't forget to lock it. There's a little lock on the top of the animation. We are going to start it to record our movement for Unity sign. For doing that, we can click the keyframe recording. When the bar turns to right, which means the animation is started to be recorded in our system. So first of all, I'm going to move it a little bit down. It can record the first place. So this is the place where this object going to be at the beginning of the movement. I can drag the bar maybe to 30. I want it to float up a little bit. So this is where the Tokyo Circle will locate it. Maybe in the end, I wanted to go back to the same place to where it started at the beginning. And the reason why I always keep the animation to back to the same place is because we are going to do the looping movement later. If it don't go back, the whole animation looks pretty weird. We always want every loop connected together. For copying the first animation, first keyframe, we can click the dot at the beginning and Control C and then Control V. Before we do the test run, we want to stop recording test run by clicking play the animation clip. As you can see, the animation is already finished, and I'm thinking I wanted to move a little bit slower. It's moving too fast for me. I'm going to just simply move the dots a little bit further to make it move slower. Let me do the second test and see how it looks. Yeah, right now it looks better. Okay, that's basically how we do the animation in Unity. Simple and easy. Let's save it first. Always make sure save a lot. And you are not only able to animate any of the building components we import, you can also animate our camera. For example, imagine you are doing a project, maybe there's one people sitting in the car and the road is not too flat, and maybe the camera, the person's view is rotated a little bit at some point. You can do that for the camera too. For doing that is exactly the same as doing it for Tokyo. So let's try to make the camera rotated a little bit and rotate it to another way and to rotate it back at the center. Let's release the lock on the bottom first. And then we clicked main camera and the hierarchy, clicked create. So for doing that, we can name it under animation by camera animation and save it. And then the next step is to lock it. Let's start animation by click the start recording. I can rotate it a little bit. See, the first dot is already finished. And maybe I wanted to rotate it a little bit. Just slightly. And then, oh, no. And then I wanted to rotate it to another way later. Okay. I wanted to rotate it back to where it is at the beginning. So I click the first dot and copy paste. Then we can stop animation, stop recording. Let's play it. This time we can test it in the game view. Let's switch the display to 1 and let's test it together in the game view. You can do it by clicking the play on top of our scene. You see the camera is starting to rotate. That's how we do the animation. It's just for a test run. We are not going to use the camera animation for today. so we can delete the components. If you click main camera, you can see there's an animator attached with our main camera. Let's delete the components or remove the components. Our main camera stop moving around. Now you guys already know, I can say you guys already know everything about animation in Unity. It's that easy. Let's do the animation for a car, and then we can attach the lighting with the car, attach the sound with the car. At the end, if you want to achieve the effect, like there is a car, police car with lighting and sound quickly passing through us. You guys can go to the prefab folder. There's already some model I prepared before for you guys. And there's the object called police car. I can just drag it in. And then we want to move it up a little bit, just save it from underground. You can click F by zoom in into particular game object. And I might want to scale it up to 7. This looks good. I want to go to the top view to rotate it all the way around. If you go to Unity Asset Store, there's a lot of great and free 3D model you can import directly into Unity. For example, if you search car, we always want to make sure we want to click the free asset. And for example, if I really like this cartoon sport car, I can just click add to my asset. I can open Unity. Then there's something available for you to use in package manager, and you can download that and then import it into your project. If we already placed the police car in the right place, I'm thinking to let the police car start run in the end of the road and then maybe stop at the middle, stop a little bit, and then go through to the end. Before we add the animation, let's add on the lighting for police car. As you know, in real life, police car always very noisy and full of the shining light. While doing that, you can see there's the police car components, parents components. If you click individual objects, you can see how the police car has been made, the main body and the full wheels. And we can cosmetically add on more components for this police car. You can do right click on this parents car game object. We right click it and go to light. I would like to use the point light for this step because the lighting effect always turns out really bright. Okay, I'm just going to put it a little bit front of our car lighting. I'm thinking to change it to super bright. Then I'm going to copy paste it. Drag another one to the other side of the car lighting and change it to maybe super bluish. You can make whatever color you want. You can make it pink or yellow. I'm just going to copy the 2 point lights together because we not only have a backlight, front light, we also have backlight. If you think the lighting is not strong, you can increase the number for intensity to make it stronger. Okay, it looks better right now. And if you want, you can copy paste another pair and put it on the top of the police car. Please make sure all the lighting you create, always make sure it's under the police car parent game object. When we click the police car, do the animation, everything goes together as a whole. Let's go to Google search. We want to add on some audio clip for the police car. So let me just do car drive sound free. Okay, this one is great. Let me just use this one. We open up the Unity project again and the workshop folder. You know what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a new folder called audio, which is a place we can import our sound. To enter the audio, I can directly drag the audio I just downloaded into the audio folder. The audio clip is ready. We can click police car. We can drag the audio clip directly onto the police car parents object. If you drag it on, you can see that there's an audio source attached with the police car parents object. We want to change it from 2D to 3D a little bit more, but not completely 3D. The 2D means Unity is going to give you a background video when you play, but if you change it to 3D, also the audio is attaching with something movable. It can give us a 3D sound effect. For example, when the car drives further, we can't hear anything, and when the car passing by, we can start it to hear a little bit more. We can click bypass effect and bypass listener effect to give it a stronger feeling. I want to change the distance to 250, which means I don't want people to hear it when the car is in the very far away side. Maybe my camera will be set in the middle and the car will passing on my left ear. I'm going to scroll it to the left side a little bit more. That's done for everything we will add on for the police car. So now let's click the parent object for police car and create an animation for it. We click that and create an animation. We want to save this animation still in the animation folder. Gonna call it car animation. And then I save it. I lock the little lock on the top. Start recording. I want to drag the car to the very back side of the scene. Always make sure the car is in the second line or is in the same line. So that's where the car will locate it at the beginning, which is in the end of the row, pretty far away from our side. I want cars to move forward. So I drag the frame and then I also need to drag the car. Okay, I click F. Okay. We want car still in the second line. And maybe I want car to stop in front of the line for a couple seconds. Can drag the bar a little bit further and copy the second point, which means during the second point to the third point, the car is gonna stay there for a while. After that, I want car to keep moving. Oh, I have to drag the bar first. I want the car to keep moving to the very far away. Okay, that's the whole process. And I got a feeling that my animation gonna happen really quick, so I'm going to adjust the. Okay. I'm done about the animation. I'm just going to stop the recording process from animation and I will go to the game view. And I want to switch my display to display 2, switch to a closer view in the middle of the road. You can switch the display by display 2. I attach the display 2 with the camera tool. The display 2 will see as same as what camera 2 set it up for. If you want to change the display that's which camera it links to, you can click different camera and you will see there's the output option for you to switch. So there's a linking relation between the display and the camera. We switch to display 2 and let's play it to see if the sound is happening or not. Let's go back to the link I just sent it out and go to the presentation subpage. And there's a website called Maximal. Let's all click Maximal. This is the Adobe Creative website, which allowed us to download free characters and free animation for this character. It's super useful and it's basically have all the animation you need. I'm going to choose Amy as my character and you guys free to choose anything you want. I'm just going to enter characters download on the right side. In the format, you want to switch it to FBX for Unity. Pose can keep it as default, T-pose. After you finish setting, you want to click download. This step is download for the skin of our character. You can imagine the movable people as two separate parts. One part is their skin, another part is their avatar, which is the bone of the character. The bone is going to control how the people is going to move, whether it's going to sit down or whether it's going to run. It's all controlled by bone. We have the skin for Amy. Let's download a pair of bone for Amy. So we clicked animation. You can do whatever you want. I'm just going to let it working. Okay, I think this one is pretty interesting. I'm just going to use this one for our tutorial. As you can see, there is some value you can change on the side. But today I'm just going to keep it default. After I have it, I'm just going to click download. Format is also FBX for Unity. The skin type, I want to do it without skin. As remember, in the last step, we already download the skin. Everything else is fine. We can keep it default, and then we click download. You go to your download folder. Before we started importing into Unity, let's change the name of it. Just make our life easier. The one having some like work on the back is the animation. I'm just going to call it Amy animation. Amy animation. For the Amy skin, I'm just gonna call it Amy skin for easier for us to separate. So let's go back to the Unity project. Under a workshop, create a folder for all the people we will import. I will just call it people. Then I double-clicked people, and I will drag in Amy and her skin under the people folder. Okay, it's done. And as you can see, there's the animation in the skin, and we can start it by dragging the skin to our scene. It's okay, it's super small, tiny small. Let's adjust the scale under inspector a little bit. I'm going to adjust the scale by 555 to make it more, a little bit bigger, more fit to the scale of my set. If you click the Amy skin under the project section, because right now there's the Amy looks quite weird. It didn't have any texture or material on it. So we are going to apply the texture and material for it. So let's create another sub layer under people. The first one is called texture. And another sublayer is called materials. So two sublayer under people folder. After we have the two folder called material and texture, we can click Amy skin. And then we clicked material under inspector. We can see there's the extract texture and extract material option. So let's do extract texture. Once we click the extract texture, so we select the texture sublayer we just create, and then there's some problem, we just clicked fix now. Then we will extract materials. So you can see our Emmys already have a skin. And for you to be able to maybe modify the Emmy skin a little bit, you can do some setting change for in the material folder you just create. Maybe make the Emmy skin more shiny or make it more metallic. That's all possible. But I'm just gonna keep it default. Emmy is not moving, so we are gonna keep working on it. So if you go back to the project section, you click Amy. Let's go to rec. we want to change the animation type from generic. We are going to change the Amy Skin's animation tab and the inspector from generic to humanoid. Make sure the avatar definition is create from this model. Click apply. There's a new avatar create for this Amy character in our computer. The purpose for us is to able to link the Amy skin with Amy animation through this avatar. So let's add the avatar to this Amy animation. For us to be able to do that, if we click Amy animation and we go to the same place, rig on the top, we change the generic to humanoid. We change create from this model to copy from other avatar. This other avatar is the avatar we just create for Amy. So we just click the little circle on the side, we click it, and then you will see the only option we have is Amy skin avatar. After we select it, we click apply. And there's the last step we gotta do. Because if you click the Amy, you see other than the avatar, it still need a controller. We are just going to create an extra controller for Amy, then our Amy can move like what we are hoping for. Let's copy this small triangle on the side of Amy animation. Let's just copy it and paste it outside of the Amy animation. We want to click the triangle and check the loop time option. We are going to create an animator controller. Right click in the blank space under people, create. There is an option called animator controller. If we click it, we can create a controller and we can name it by Amy controller. We can double click this controller and drag in this triangular inside. And the entry will automatically connect with our small triangle. Now we want to attach the controller we just create with our Amy inside of the scene. So we just attach it directly on the controller. So for us to able to check out if the whole process is successful or not, let's switch one of our camera to this angle so we can play it and check the animation if it's work or not. So I right click the camera 3 and align with view. And I go to game view, switch display 2 to display 3. Let's play it. See? I mean, it's moving. It's the same step for different people, different animations. You're just gonna need to do some extra step to give them the animation you want. That was it for people animation and people import. The last step we are going to learn is how to add the wind effect into our scene. Because the most obvious thing we will see for the wind is on the planet on our side. When the wind passing by, most obvious movement is on the tree or on the grasses. I'm just going to import a grass and teach you how to do the wind effect. If you go to prefabs, there's the object called little grass. If you drag it into the scene view, it's probably pink or you couldn't see anything. That's normal because we don't have a material for it right now. We are going to create a new material affected by wind for this grass. For doing that, we will go under material. Let's create a new material by right click the blank space under material and then create the material. We are just gonna call it wind grass. Okay, then we can apply this wind grass by just drag it onto the grass, or we can directly drag it onto the grass and the hierarchy. So we are gonna do some modification for this wind texture. First of all, we want to select the wind grass texture and we want to change the shader tab to wind. You can directly search it in the text box. This wind texture is not default from Unity. It's actually created and pre-made by me. If you really want to learn how to make it, there's the video to teach you how to do it step by step. But I don't think that's really necessary because for another project, you can just copy and paste the shader I'm using in this project and then just use it on your own Unity project. And for where you can find this shader, the wind shader I create, you can go under a workshop, click shader. This is the wind shader I have create. If you copy it and paste it to your own Unity project, it will turn out like the same. And let's go back to material. If you clicked wind material, you can see there's nothing for it. And let's all click albedo. And there's a lot of texture you can select. I'm just going to click a pinky color for the grass. But you still couldn't see anything for it, right? Because the opacity is 0. Let's turn the opacity from 0 to a little bit higher. In this normal map, it's for giving the materials in-depth. I'm going to change it from the default to the same image with albedo, so it looks better. And I wanted to emission a little bit, so I'm going to, okay. Feel free to change to whatever color you want for emission. Okay. So it looks better, but it's still not moving, right? And for us to able to make it move, we can change the number under band strength. I'm just going to do 2, and I will give, this is determine how much of the move it will do from both X direction and Y direction. So you can see it's already slightly moving by the wind. It's not by the wind, it's just a movable material we create to give it a fake effect. And people will think that's the wind moving the material. Right? I'm just gonna copy a lot of them. Just copy paste. Let me see how it looks on under camera 2. I will copy more and drag it closer to camera 2. So there's some closer grass. I want to change the closer one bigger. So that's how the final thing turns out. Let's do a test run to see how everything looks. And if you want the grass to move a little bit more, you can increase the value of the bond strength. So that was it for today. And if you keep adding more and more of the people and car, you will eventually get the output like it's not showing, like the beginning demo I'm showing.